Hi, my name is David Shindler, and welcome to another Learning to Lead podcast, where I chat to interesting people in the jobs, careers, and employability space. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome Jess Sewter, Head of Partnerships and Placements at Leeds Trinity University. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, David.
Good to see you,
Thanks for having
and
me.
welcome. Good, pleasure. It's quite a momentous day today. It's referendum day, so I don't know. We'll try and keep away from the Brexit arguments. Otherwise, there could be some problems. So let's just leave that to
Probably
one side.
buys.
So let's start off with the fact that I've just been on your LinkedIn profile, and I see that you've been with Leeds Trinity University for the last 9 years. So just tell us a little bit about your career journey and how you ended up doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so I've been here 9 years. Prior to that, I was working in FE. Straight from university, I did the TEFL thing and went to Europe and taught English abroad. And what I found is I loved the teaching, but I also really loved the relationships I was building with all the different organisations I was working with. So I started to become a bit of an account manager as well as a teacher. So I came back to England after about 6 years of living around Europe. And did a brief stint in marketing, but realised I really loved education. So I went into FE, was teaching ESOL to refugees and asylum seekers.
And ESOL is what? What's ESOL?
It's teaching English to speakers of other languages.
Ah, right, okay.
So where English isn't their first language.
Yeah.
So I did that. I also did some basic literacy and numeracy, and started working with businesses and community organisations to set up classes within their organisations, and I really found a love for it. So I really developed that side of my work, and eventually the teaching petered out a bit, and I did more development work because I just liked that creating new partnerships. And so I moved then into higher education. And have been here for 9 years now, managing placements and partnerships and really working to engage employers with what we're doing.
Fantastic. So it's a really interesting combination then, isn't it? So the mixture of teaching, global experiences, but also marketing, sort of sets you up perfectly for engagement and working with employers.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I think for me, fundamentally, really good engagement is about it's that personal connection and it's that interest in what people are doing, and also having a creative idea of where you want it to go. And I think, yes, it's down to having a human approach to it, and I think that's really important. Don't get me wrong, I love the teaching, and when I get a chance, I'll still talk to lots of groups of students and get my foot in the door somehow. But yeah, the partnership and creating connections and development work is really what I'm about.
Brilliant. So what are some of the changes you've seen in the relationships between the university and employers over that 9 years?
Well, I think at Leeds Trinity, we've had a really strong placement programme that's been compulsory in all the degrees, and that's been since we started. And we really follow that teacher training model of having students in the university and out in the workplace all the way through their course.
Because didn't Leeds Trinity originally was a teacher training college?
It was originally a teacher training college, and then we started to write new degrees and build new degrees, and we really followed that model. So we really it was the first university to pioneer that and to embed it as a compulsory element within all the degree programs.
And it's still unusual, that, isn't it? I mean, there aren't many universities, if any, who first year and second year have a 6-week placement.
Yeah, I don't know any other university that has a compulsory placement like we do. Other universities are catching up, and there are. I've noticed there's more competition around, but they do tend to stick to more vocational type degree programs. So I don't know any other history or religious studies degrees that incorporate an industrial placement in the sector within that degree.
So that actually hasn't been so much of a change. It's been a continuity through all that time. So what have you noticed about employers and how they've reacted to what you're doing?
Well, I think the placement programme has changed has stayed the same in the 9 years, but there's been a high turnover, and we've had to really increased our student numbers, so we've had to really increase our engagement. But also, we're looking more now as a university to create more work-based learning opportunities for employers. And I think further education, we've been doing that for a long time. Lots of short courses, evening courses, embedded courses, work-based programs. And I think higher education, we're a little behind on that, but it's now really crucial that we develop that, and that's for the good of the skills of the country and the economy and jobs, and recognising people with proper qualifications at a higher level. So we're starting to really develop that, such as degree apprenticeships and so on. And I think businesses are really starting to look towards universities now as a new partner, as ways to get their staff trained, as ways to get some research done, as ways to work with our students on projects and on live challenges.
Well, I can testify to that because I took on 2 work placement students from your university who've been helping me with my business. And
yes, you did.
So, and in fact, that's the third. The third, I had one 2 years ago as well who helped me. So, it's testimony to what you're doing, that it works in practice.
It really does work in practice, and it's not always easy. Employers like yourself do have to think about what that person would do. It has to be set at the right level. We do ask that they're developed and their skills developed. So there is a bit of time and input from the organisations. But if it's planned in well, you do reap the rewards. You have somebody working with you full time, unpaid, as part of their degree. And generally, the results are really good. And employers, we just get such great feedback about our students.
Yeah, I mean, I can only vouch for that because the 2 students who have been working with me want to carry on working with me beyond the placement. So they've been very enthused and getting a lot out of working with a real business. I'm also interested, and you mentioned higher apprentice degrees, etc. Tell us a little bit about what you're introducing, because this is quite new for universities, and you're kind of at the front line of this.
We are. We're one of a few universities now. More universities are picking up the idea of developing higher level apprenticeships. So the government are putting a lot of funding behind this and are really looking for groups of sectors and organisations and education bodies to create standards so that we can run higher apprenticeships for people in the workplace.
And I notice you've got a relationship with the Chartered Management Institute.
Well, it's something we're developing. There's a degree apprenticeship in management by CMI, and we're looking at we're applying now to see if we can deliver that. So yeah, we're asking our employer partners now to see if they'll support us with that.
I'm really pleased to see that, because management gets a lot of brickbats thrown at it, and to be able to sort of get that accreditation but linked to the workplace as well as to academic support is a really, really good combination.
Yeah, and people who do that will obviously receive management training, but also a higher level qualification. So some people have been managers for years and just not had the qualification at the right level to support that. And also, we're developing apprenticeships in certain key areas, so it's quite niche. So that might be children, young people and families, or adult social care. But management affects all sectors, and all the employers we work with, I think, would be attracted to that or benefit from that course.
So apprentices could be from any age group and any generation?
Yeah, if it's higher level, it would have to be from 18.
Yeah.
And there is definitely more funding for younger apprentices to get for this drive to get younger people into work. But it's for any age, any position, and so it really is then a model. And obviously we're looking at different models, but some models might be 1 day a week, sometimes it might be block delivery. So it's really all about what suits the employers and how it works best for them.
So building in that flexibility.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, I attended the Leeds Trinity Business Networking Group, which was your 5th birthday, and I can highly recommend it to people because I won the raffle, and so you have really posh prizes. So I got a case of champagne, which was amazing. So
you did very well.
I did very well out of that. But just tell us a little bit, because it's again, I get a sense from my sort of dealings with Leeds Trinity that you're very much. Your commitment and your energy is all about community. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes. Well, we started the business network 5 years ago because I thought it was so important to open the doors to business and really show us as a university that we are part of the community that we're in. And I think the danger of university sometimes is to hide behind these walls and expect everyone to come to them. And actually, we are a part of the community we're in. And I think it's really important to have a network with no real set agenda. If opportunities come out of it, that's wonderful. But it's really about creating a space for the business community to talk, to tell us what's going on. We know what's happening in the sector, see what people need, see where we can work and help. And I'm really proud of it. It's really grown. It's really thriving. And I always thought it wouldn't be like a real network. It would be more like a university network. But actually, the diehard networkers around Leeds, they say it's the only network they'll shift things in their diary to get to. So I feel like I'm up there with the big boys on the network front. And really, I think it's a great team effort. And I think it's just built itself, really.
Yeah, a lot of that success is down to you. So again, back to your engagement skills, etc. But you were saying that something like 35 events over 5 years, 1,000 people have turned up over that time, and you started out with 12. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, well, as I say, I think if you've got people that come to an event and really enjoy it, they will tell others. So always within an hour after one of those events, I'll get a flood of emails of people who want to be added to the list. So I think a lot of the networkers help with the marketing myself. But I think what makes us different is it's not formal. There's no obligation to refer. There's no hard sell.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not just social. There's usually a focus. There's usually a theme. We're a university, so I really want some kind of focus on learning something in there. So we'll have a theme. There'll be some discussion. There's usually some activity, and there's usually something that people will go away with, maybe an action point or two. And that's what I think is really important, that there's some sort of takeaway from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the feel of it is very relaxed, as you say. And what I like about it is that people are there genuinely to either make friendships, learn, but it's also very collaborative. It doesn't feel transactional like many networking events that I've been to.
Yes, it's not about just swapping business cards.
No.
And I think what's really important about networking is it's not just what happens in that hour. It might be 6 months on that you think of somebody that might be really great for a project or an idea, or I know just the person. And that's what I want it to be, building really strong relationships. And somebody said yesterday, they've made friends through this. But as a university, we obviously have really benefited from it. We've had employers there take students on placement. We've had people who've offered to be mentors. We have a few students each year who set up their own businesses, and we have business owners who give them advice on legality issues and funding and terms and conditions and all of that kind of thing. So as a university, we do benefit, but I also think businesses make really good connections too. And linking back to your community point, we have some third sector members there, and we've created some events where the business networkers have been able to pledge some of their time to help community groups with social media or marketing or whatever it might be. And I just love the way that it's sort of helping the community as well.
Brilliant. And I suppose another aspect to it is you've opened an enterprise centre on site where you've actually got real businesses who've placed themselves in that enterprise centre on the campus right next door to young students who are starting their own business. You can't get more community minded than that.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we offer office space, and in return, the businesses, we ask them to give so many hours in that year to help our business startups through mentoring and some guidance. So it works really well. It's a really great model.
Fantastic. It's also, I understand, Leeds Trinity's 50th anniversary this year. So yes. How are you celebrating?
Yes, I've got an invite here. It's all gold. It's all golden. So we're kicking off in July 2016, and celebrations will run all the way through to July 2017. We're going to start with we're going to have a garden party for all our staff, which will be really nice. Brilliant. But we're going to have a gala dinner, and that's our first event on the 22nd of July. And then we'll be running through into the autumn with some civic ceremony in Leeds. We're going to have some Westminster celebrations in London, and all the way through we'll have guest speakers and different conferences going on, and then we'll end the celebrations next July. So yeah, 50 years.
Amazing. And who are some of your well-known alumni? Can you name any?
Well, yes. Now you've put me on the spot. We've had Gervais Finn. Do you know Gervais Finn, the writer?
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yep.
Yeah. I heard that Sting attended Leeds Trinity, but I don't know if that was a rumour.
So I'm going to Google that one later.
Google that one. And it might be that he just came for a short term. I had that Ed Sheeran as well, but then when I Googled him, it didn't look like
No.
So maybe he only lasted a term. I
think so. Ed Sheeran's not a fan of university, because I remember reading some quote saying, don't waste your time if you want to get into music and everything. Just go and do it.
Yeah, probably.
But you've got a well-known representative, haven't you, in Gabby Logan?
Yeah, Gabby Logan is our Chancellor, and that's a really great role model for us. It's perfect because we do sports journalism, and I just think it's great we've got a strong woman at the head of our ship. But we've also, I did terribly there naming our alumni, but we've got really strong journalism and a lot of really well-known journalists in the field trained here.
Fantastic, good stuff. So what's the best thing about your job? What do you love most?
People. I love working with people. I love how every day is different. I love starting new things, new projects. So that always feels exciting to me. And I just feel like it's a really great way to feel connected to the city that I'm in. So, I can walk through Leeds and see lots of people I know. And I just like the buzz of that. I like to know what's happening, what's new, who's working with who, and what opportunities can we create there for our students. And it is really all about our students, getting them as prepared as they can be for work, making them part of our community. But I really love making sure our university is part of it all as well.
Brilliant. And one of the things I noticed about your employability strategy was that, and it's kind of unusual, but I really think it's incredibly important, is this notion of citizenship and being a good citizen. Again, it fits in with your community-minded approach.
Yeah, we're a Catholic institution, and that came from our Catholic ethos. Was everyone should be a real contributing and contributing citizen of our communities. But it actually, whether you're Catholic or not, it's just a really good ethos, I think. And so, yeah, we're not just trying to get our students to become employable and brush up their skills. We want them to really think, to be proactive, to volunteer, to get involved, and to really make a difference to the world that they're in. That's the kind of values we're trying to instill.
Great stuff, really good life skills. And have you got any major projects coming up that you're looking forward to? Something exciting things on the way in relation to employer engagement or placements?
Well, we're going to shape up. We're always looking to enhance how we get our students out there. And you very kindly took part in our Level 4 programme. So for our first year students, for the first time ever, we put on an intensive 2-week programme. Directly before they went on placement, and it was almost like an intensive boot camp, although that doesn't sound very fun. But you, David, put on this great conference day for 850 students over those 2 weeks.
Tell me about it.
It was great working with you on that. I hope you had to lie down afterwards.
I did.
But it was brilliant because they really thought about themselves and how they are. What their personality types were through some self-awareness workshops. They did lots of professional workshops, all delivered by externals. I think we had over 50 employers involved. We had 850 students on the programme, about 5,000 bookings. We had about 45 employer challenges for them to work on, live employer briefs. So the first year students already have had a real exposure. They've been on placement, but they've also had to do some really sort of live market research for employers that need it right now, and really put under pressure and with their presentation skills. So next year, the challenge now is to build it up for them. So we're going to do more employer interactions for our students, more networking. We're going to have more professionals coming in from the outside world, to coach them, to train them. We can offer some more mentoring. So there's loads of things we want to do. We really want to drive up our employability even further.
And again, what it reflects is this shift from in your final year at university, I better get my CV together, and I wonder what I'm going to do about getting a job. really ramping that up from the word go at university so that you're actually more prepared. That's a big shift, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. I think there is this really traditional view that you step your way up through education and then your job starts, and that's when you think about job, and then you don't learn anymore. And actually, we learn all the way through our lives.
Yeah.
And from 16 onwards, most people kind of work all the way through their lives. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive at all. I think we should blend them together. From day one. So as soon as our first years arrive, we want them to have fun. We want them to make friends. We want them to love learning and studying. But we really want them to think. We don't expect people to have a career plan and know exactly what they want to be when they graduate, because a lot of careers don't really work like that. But we want them to have an idea of what skills what they're good at, what they would think they might want to do, where they want to go on placement to try it out. So really, while they're doing that through their time here, they really understand themselves and understand what jobs are out there, because a lot of graduates don't really know the job market at all. So I think it's really important for them to have that exposure. So we do want to sort of mimic assessment centres here and mimic recruitment agencies here, because that's what they're going to face, and we don't want it to be daunting and feel like they've fallen into a black hole when they graduate.
And you have a kind of a placement and recruitment service, don't you, beyond the university? Just tell us a little bit about that.
So we used to run as a support unit that would source and provide and organise placements directly for students who wanted it. We still do that, and we organise about half of them. We obviously administer all of them and liaise with the employers and all of that for all of them. But we've changed it slightly, so we've made it a bit more like a competitive recruitment process, just to give students that taste of what it's like to go up against other people and have that advantage in the in the marketplace and an interview and get feedback. So you find that by really supporting people through that, we hope they'll be more confident when they graduate and they're going for jobs for real. We started it a few years ago, so we haven't quite got that to put to test yet, but we're positive that there'll be some difference there.
Brilliant. And have you got any sort of messages as we come to the end of this this chat, about any messages for employers in terms of what you're looking for and how they can help you?
Well, I just think it's the ongoing conversation is absolutely crucial. We won't know what the sector needs unless the sector talks to us. The sector won't know what talent we've got unless they talk to us. So it's about working together and co-creating really good degree programs that meet the needs of the sector. So what I do every year is collate all that employer feedback on how our students are doing and what gaps there are and what they need to do and what's changed in that year, so that we can adapt our degrees and make sure they're top notch and what the sector needs. So I suppose my big message is, let's keep talking to each other and working together.
Brilliant. And how can people contact you, Jess? What's the best way?
Well, email. You can email me at j.sewter, which is SEWTER, at leedstrinity.ac.uk. You can call me on 0113 2837 182.
Brilliant. And they can connect with you on LinkedIn as well through your profile?
Yeah, I've got a LinkedIn profile, so you can come and find me there. I've got the Leeds Trinity Business Network LinkedIn group if you're local and you want to join that.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a real pleasure and really enjoyed talking with you. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day. And thank you for being a guest on the Learning to Leap podcast.
Thanks very much, David. Thanks for having me.